Donald Trump has lost complete control of the House of Representatives. House Republican leadership under Mike Johnson is paralyzed. The White House is stuck. That's where we're at right now because of the Jeffrey Epstein files. For the first time, not just in his second presidency, but also in his first presidency combined, the Trump White House does not know what to do about a scandal that is marring the president in ways we've never seen before. The Jeffrey Epstein scandal has united Republicans, Democrats, and independents around a common goal. The common goal to release these files to the public. And right now, House Republican leadership is literally paralyzed because House Republicans under them are breaking from the White House, breaking from Donald Trump, trying to get answers on their own when the White House will not provide them. So here's the latest this morning. Donald Trump is losing significant influence in the House of Representatives. Overnight, a subcommittee in the House Oversight Committee voted to subpoena the Epstein files from the Department of Justice. And this was a bipartisan vote, not one Republican, not two, three Republican members of the House of Representatives joined all Democrats on this oversight subcommittee to vote to release the Epstein files, to subpoena the Epstein files from the Department of Justice. They will now be writing the contents of the subpoena that will be served and issued likely after the August recess sometime in September. But let's talk about this. The three House Republicans that voted against or voted for this subpoena, number one, Nancy Mace from South Carolina, who's one of Donald Trump's top allies. Number two, Brian Jack from Georgia, another MAGA ally. And number three, Scott Perry, the former chairman of the House Freedom Caucus, someone who's very close to the MAGA agenda, who's also in a vulnerable House seat election this time around. But that's not all right now, folks. Today, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche will be meeting with none other than Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's co-conspirator, who has been serving 20 years in federal prison in Florida on sex trafficking charges. This raises significant questions. What are they meeting about? What can Maxwell tell Blanche that he doesn't already know? Why are they meeting now? Why wasn't this meeting happening before? And will the public ever know what actually is said in this meeting? Now, I will say this. Maxwell has a very competent and very good lawyer. David Marcus, I actually have seen his work in the past. He's a very good lawyer. He would not be walking into this meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell without something of value to give or something for her to get. Before I continue, please consider supporting my work by subscribing, clicking the button below, or sending a one-time donation via Venmo to Aaron-Parnas. In a new 2010 deposition video uncovered, Jeffrey Epstein invokes his 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment rights when asked if he had ever socialized with Donald Trump in the presence of females under the age of 18 after confirming that they had a social relationship.
Have you ever had a personal relationship with Donald Trump?
What do you mean by personal relationships?
Have you socialized with him?
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever socialized with Donald Trump in the presence of females under the age of 18?
Though I'd like to answer that question, at least today, I'm going to have to assert my 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment rights, sir.
Think about this. Pleading the 5th does not mean you did anything wrong, but to Donald Trump, it does, because back in 2016, when Donald Trump was running for office in Council Bluffs, Iowa, he told the crowd, why plead the 5th, essentially, if you have nothing to hide?
So there are 5 people taking the 5th Amendment, like you see on the mob, right? You see the mob takes the 5th. If you're innocent, why are you taking the 5th Amendment?
Well, Jeffrey Epstein pled the 5th multiple times in this deposition, and the White House is denying wrongdoing. The White House is downplaying Trump's ties to Epstein, but what the White House has not done, interestingly, is denied that Donald Trump was told by Attorney General Pam Bondi that he is in the Epstein files. The White House will not say no, which means, in a lot of ways, when you think about crisis communications in Washington, D.C., means that he was told by Attorney General Pam Bondi that he was in the Epstein files, and the White House is just trying to spin this to try to get out of its own way. But right now, Washington, D.C. is paralyzed in ways we have never seen before under a Trump presidency. In other news, Southpark premiered overnight 27th season with a scathing satire of Donald Trump, Paramount, and media censorship, featuring Donald Trump in a bed with Satan, commentary on lawsuits, show cancellations, and even the Epstein files. But here's the kicker. Just days before this 27th season premiere, Southpark signed a $1.5 billion deal with Paramount, the network that it mocked relentlessly overnight. This is the type of show, this is the type of leadership that we are looking for in this moment. We shouldn't cave to Donald Trump. We shouldn't allow Paramount, CBS, these companies to cave to the White House. We should demand answers and stand up. Speaking of standing up, a Save Colbert rally in New York drew dozens of protesters yesterday. Democratic lawmakers and public figures are demanding that CBS and Paramount reverse the cancellation of The Late Show. There is currently a petition online with over 250,000 signatories on the petition. A federal appellate court in San Francisco ruled that Donald Trump's executive order to repeal birthright citizenship was unconstitutional. The decision is the latest setback for Donald Trump. This will now head to the United States Supreme Court, which will likely take it up during the next term. This will be the bombshell biggest case of the Supreme Court's next term. The United States Department of Justice is demanding Wisconsin voter registration and information data on election fraud as part of a multi-state effort under a new executive order from Donald Trump aimed at overhauling elections in the United States of America. The DOJ sent letters to Secretary of State Sarah Godlewski, who does not oversee elections, and the Wisconsin Election Commission, which said that the DOJ must formally request and pay $12,000 for the voter rolls. Godlewski's office said that this move is a politically motivated witch hunt targeting Democratic-led states to undermine the 2020 election results. The Pentagon's independent watchdog has uncovered evidence that messages from Pete Hegseth's Signal account, which previewed a U.S. bombing campaign in Yemen, were based on a classified email labeled secret, contradicting the Trump administration's claims that there were no classified information in the Signal messages. There is a growing humanitarian crisis in Gaza. UNRWA and the World Health Organization report mass starvation, with aid workers fainting from hunger. 1 in 5 children in Gaza City now malnourished. Over 100 people, including 21 children under 5, have died from starvation due to the blockade, which the World Health Organization is describing as, quote, man-made mass starvation. Israeli strikes continued across Gaza, killing civilians, while Hamas launched projectiles near aid sites. Israel is reviewing a revised ceasefire proposal seen as, quote, workable. Thailand and Cambodia are at war. Thailand has reported 12 deaths and 31 injuries from Cambodian artillery shelling that struck civilian areas, including a hospital. In response, a Thai F-16 jet destroyed a Cambodian military target. Both countries are blaming one another for starting this conflict. Cambodia is requesting an urgent United Nations security meeting, accusing Thailand of deliberate attacks, while Thailand's acting premier said no war has officially been declared and called for a ceasefire before any future talks. Folks, that's all the news right now. I'll be back this evening with another rundown. Spread the word, subscribe to support by clicking the button below, and I'll see you in the evening.